Gigi Berardi reading FoodWISE tonight and continuing on with small-scale integrated farms. Under this section, how do we get to FoodWISE? Efficient often means big, and big usually means specialized. A common way this happens is separating the production of animals from the production of their feed. One business raises chickens, another farm raises the grain to feed them, but integrated mixed crop livestock systems are the key to sustainability, at least in terms of having a guaranteed source of soil fertility in the form of manures and composts. Manure from a smaller operation is more manageable. If properly handled, and of course there are no guarantees here, it is less likely to escape from a storage lagoon in a big rain, and it is easier to use to fertilize the soil, although small-scale operators also need to take caution. Recycling the nutrients by using livestock manure to fertilize crops and pastures is a central part of integrated farming. Integrated farming systems better connect plants and animals. If a farmer was avoiding chemical fertilizer and animal manures, how else could the fields be fertilized? Cover crops, clover, vetch, rye, spring oats, wheat, barley, and even lentils, as shown in Liz Carlisle's Lentil Underground, can contribute fertility. Taking a FoodWISE approach toward an integrated biological solution may lead us to sorghum Sudan grass. Its deep roots are massive and it provides good habitat for microorganisms and biomass for the soil when decayed. These regenerative land use strategies also create diverse pastures of flowering cover crops that support pollinators. All is integrated. So the article I had today was on pig farming and on how farmers are having to euthanize pigs. And I will be honest, I just couldn't bear it. I could hardly get through the article. So FoodWISE is full of suggestions for how to make our system more resilient, more nimble, especially in crisis. This is not what we've got now. Today we had an interview with one of my favorite dairy farmers with my class. And he himself was talking about dairy products. And you can make cheese, and cheese processing plants have a huge capacity for that. And importantly, you can store it. And the same with dehydrated milk, non-fat or somewhat higher fat, instant or non-instant powdered milk. But fluid milk is different. It's very difficult to bump up capacity to bottle fluid milk, for example. And certainly it doesn't store very well. And so now that there is sluggishness in supply chains, that there is a drop in demand for agricultural products, there's less cheese being consumed in restaurants, say. Now we do have a product that we need to do something with. And that gets us to that article on pig farming. I guess I will put it in the introduction to this piece. But I also wanted to say that I was watching a show tonight, and there was a lot of tribute paid to first responders. And I appreciate that and respect that as an EMT. But I have to say that my sister has been on the front line for months and months, and people like my sister, and somehow they're in a category that gets no mention, no respect whatsoever. She works in a bank, and although she may not be a first responder, she's on the front line in terms of exposure to potential exposure to coronavirus. And I don't know what kind of PPE she has. I have good protective equipment. I don't know about people working in a bank, people working in her bank, for example. Also, the protection and safety of the first responders is the number one priority in so many ways. But I don't know what the situation is for someone on the front line that is a banker, is a teller in a bank. And I just wanted to give a shout out to my sister and to people like my sister who get overlooked in the accolades. First responders and supermarket checkout folks, also risking exposure. That's really what we're talking about here, but we don't hear very much about bankers. I love you, Cindy.